And we are live. How are you all? I am so excited to be here with you. It's Margot Massery, your heartfelt CFO. I it's just so cool when you get the tech working on more than one platform. I am just so touched to be here with you as the community of mental health followers. I'm Margot Mastery. I run and operate Heartfelt CFO and Tax Services. We help business owners run their practices around entrepreneurship, tax, accounting, money, and all of the in between. Can we just take a hot minute and just take a deep breath? DIY financial management. Who is with me? How hard can that be? We have started these mental health business practices to truly make a difference around other people's lives. And one person at a time is what we're looking to do. I actually just realized that before I get into this, I want to just make sure one more tech is working. Okay. Sorry about that. I was just on the phone with a mental health business owner this morning. And for me, mental health business owners, there's surrounding fields that it can be. You can be a coach that serves it. Sometimes you are in speech therapy. Sometimes you have spin off in like psychotherapy. There's a lot of surrounding fields. Now, it could be you came from a W 2 world and now you practice on your own, and there's so many different things to learn. And I want to tell you a story. A client of ours came on board and she was really upset around cash flow. And not only was she upset around cash flow, she took it upon herself to learn how to save for taxes. She took it upon herself how to learn how to save in general, how to basically do all the buckets. She was so busy with all of the buckets, what ended up happening was multiple times a day, there was transfers into the savings account to pay for taxes. So all day she was really occupied with this transfer. So it could be like almost 10 times a day where each deposit was set up. But because she was worried about shortages, having enough money because of different things that were going on, these rules were always running the game. Now, what I've learned in this business is that you could have like 40 clients a week, and hopping from session to session is a tool in itself. What ended up happening in this situation is that she didn't put room for tax strategies, and I want to explain. She thought she was doing everything right because she followed the rules. You save 15% or 20%, whatever the savings math calculation is for her category, or whatever your category is. Because sometimes if you don't own property, it could be like 30% and plus. And what ended up happening was is that she was getting shortchanged because all the money was going to taxes. And in her personal life, the way that it was all working out the math, she couldn't really see like a personal budget to work from. So her personal life, the way she was actually doing the expenses, was really just not working. And every day or every week, there was like 500 here, 1,000 there. What we ended up doing was we got her onto a salary. We went through the personal books, and what we did was we saw how much she was spending and saw what she needed. And thankfully, that she built a business that the salary could be able to be made through this business. But what she didn't see was what was not getting done in her personal life beyond that because it was literally just paying the bills. So the owner was so stretched with the rules, so stretched with all of the clients that she had to see and serve them. And as an owner, she couldn't hold herself up. And what do I mean by that? Is that always tired, always running the bank. Last year, we saw from that snapshot of what was happening, it was an overpayment of taxes of about $35,000. I kid you not. What we had to do was literally just run another payroll instead of her taking a draw. Now, these specific things that are being thrown at you, it could be a lot to digest. And I'm actually going to spin off with a different story so that this can loop together of the difference of running this yourself or running this with a professional. So I was working with a client this morning, and he was convinced he needed a sole proprietor. And he was like, I'm not running a team. It's just me as a sole proprietor. At the same time, as a tax professional, I'm like, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? You have no protection. So it was coming from a source that didn't fully know the tax law and only knew to their capabilities, which was like, hey, sole proprietor, because you're not going to have a team. Where I'm going with this is that when you're ready to commit within, the process is ready for you to be there. When you're going to go halfway in, the process is going to be halfway. And when you commit to your money is going to commit to you. Now, what does that have anything to do with doing it yourself, financial management? Because when you commit to yourself that someone is going to lead you, and I call this leading you to the garden, you get to be in a whole new place. And when you get to be in a whole new place, you now have a salary, you know what entity works for you, you're not financially stressed, you're stressed in a different way because you know exactly where the business is, what you need to do, but what's stopping to do, which could be hard too. Now, lots of times when we're doing it all ourselves, what happens is that we're wearing all of these different hats. And think about it kind of like cups that you have to fill every day. So you have the tax bucket, you have the expense budget, you have the bank accounts, you have the payroll, you have general admin. Now, we didn't even get to the process that actually runs your business. So it could be about 25 cups every day that you have to fill with doing this all yourself. Now, that's just the business end. Imagine what's going to happen on the personal side too when you get home. I'm actually going to tell you a story. So I was on my mastermind this morning, and one of the mastermind members, she was talking about how if her hire was one person or two. What I really heard in that was, hey, get rid of all these things that were happening and get into one person. What happens is that when we put things from an exterior perspective of somebody else to help zoom in on what we're doing, we get to see things from like a slimmer perspective that creates like a whole new vision. Now, what she didn't see what she was doing by having this positioned into two different categories was kind of like, somebody else, I'm going to pay stuff that I don't want to do, but I don't really know what's happening, which is kind of like the concept here where I'm trying to say it in a different way in terms of financial management, is that when you do it yourself, we're almost trying to take out the things that we don't think should be seen, or if it's buried with like shame or guilt and whatnot, or it should be better, where we're shooting ourselves, versus going in our intuition where we're kind of like, you know what? I don't know this, and let me be led. So I ask you this question. Do you want to be led, or do you want to lead? When you lead your own finances, what I find in this industry and of this niche is that when it comes to retiring, you have to backpedal anyway. And what do I mean by that? You need the bank reconciliations. You need a professional person to do it, and you lost out on that support all of this time. It's hard enough business ownership by yourself, let alone trying to do this together, and just seeing where it's going to go. Now, when you go inside and you take a deep breath, okay, and you think about all of the things that you have to do with DIY financial management, like all these different rays come out of like sharper beams of kind of like, ugh, ugh. And I'm talking about this from like a simple perspective. Like, I'm not even bringing like what you gain in the value. I'm just talking about from a capacity of operations. And this is operating your business from like an owner, from like a real business owner versus just trying to do it all and being the person. To loop this together, I'm actually going to close with a fun story. Years ago, when I was going for a hair color appointment, and I got a phone call, and my colorist said to me at the time, he was like, Margot, oh, that's your wife on the phone? I was like, what? And it was my help in the house who she, does all these things. And he was like, I was also like going onto the computer, and he was like, how would you like if I came to my color, if you came to the color, and I was eating a salad at the same time, and then it go zoop, and then a bunch of salad was like all over your head. He was like, hey, I came here for color. I didn't come to get the salad on my head. Now things happen, right? But the point is that when we serve everybody, when we want to do everything, we serve nobody. The game to get onto the other side is clarity of the unknown, and the unknown is the curiosity and the possibilities to gain control over your business in the easiest way possible. And when you look at things from this simpler eye of operating from why you came into business, of the purpose versus needing to do it all, because those pennies don't save. How many times do you go into Starbucks, you go into 7-Eleven and whatnot, and we overspend on coffee and all the stupid things, or like a shirt that we wanted, and really helping us learn about our money and to take care of our money so that it takes care of us and our family, where that can build on and on. Like, how much better does that sound than looking to put this into the backlog? I happen to be fortunate where this is probably the first time I had a client today come on board before he got into all of this, because he was just like, I just don't want to be in it. He's like, it may cost me money to get started. He goes, but I know the long game is where I'm going, and that's where I want to make decisions from. Remember this sentence: be, do, have, not have, be, do. We need to be who we want our clients to be. Do the actions and you will have it all. And then all of a sudden, you're going to look into space and you're going to see that you have all of the things. And I'll close it with this. Where do you see in your life that you're looking to do it all and you wish you had help? Just take down a document and just write it down. It's as simple as that. Maybe some of the tasks are not even worth it. And when they're not even worth it, you know what happens is that they just come off the calendar and you get better use of your time. It's the same thing with money. We prioritize together on what needs to be done so that your business can move forward. Now, this client that I signed on with, he said to me, he was like, I don't want to grow a team anytime soon. No problem. He's like, I want to operate in this capacity and maximize in this capacity. No problem. There's boundaries in order of what he wants for himself, and that's what he's coming to, and that's what I want for you. So let me know how you enjoyed this. This was a whole bunch of story time together and a bunch of stories to tell you around. Let's see how we're operating and work from there so that you can get a salary. Chances are accounts receivable is in distraught and those types of things, simply because we're not attending to our money. All my business owners, I kid you not, once they take care of their money, accounts receivable is all under control. Even with health insurance, working with their biller, it all works hand in hand with not doing the DIY. All of a sudden, business is progressing and working for them. Let me know the actions. I love to see all of the messages and all the requests around the different things that you want to learn. And I tell you is that start to log your day and look at your camera, look at your life and your day with a camera of a lens of kind of like, if someone were to look into my business when I'm doing all of these things, what would they say? Feel free to put in the comments below, send me a DM, and I'm excited to talk more. Looking forward to hearing from you all.